we are back for round 2 of the NCAA tournament. Easy for me to say, huh?
Indeed, we are here.
Yes.
And
we
back.
are well in the throes of March now. Yep. Coming to you, dear listener, weekly in March. How about that? We had a little interim episode last week.
Yeah, a little lightning round snippet, mini episode, as they like to say. I don't know who they are, but I've heard the term.
The same people who will tell you that there will be plenty of lightning in March and fireworks in the NCAA tournament. And Ides, and St. Patrick's Day and not limericks. Yeah, it could be limericks. Leprechauns.
No.
Yeah, okay. We're all thinking the same limerick at the moment. Let's clean it up, though. NCAA tournament, it is really hard for me to say. You have found your way back by hook or by crook to Out of the Main, Season 7, Episode technically 3. We're trying to figure that out exactly. Back for some March Madness. Here we go with our album artwork tournament.
We started with a bracket of 32, which included a few play-ins, so there was a few more than 32. But we spent last week going through the play-in games and selecting those and then culling the 32 down to 16. And as I remember, as we signed off last, we talked about how difficult, once we got rid of the few that maybe belonged on the bubble, on the perimeter, but certainly the 16 that remain, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and we haven't workshopped the name like we have in the past. So could we call it the Sleeve 16? Because they're record sleeves, sort of.
Sleeve 16, gosh,
Sleeve 16.
That's terrible.
I'm sticking with that until you come up with something better, and you have about 35 minutes to do so.
Okay.
All right, Sleeve 16 it is.
Sexy 16's already been used, I'm assuming, somewhere.
Probably. Sexy and 17, but that Stray Cats are not in this tournament.
They did not make it.
All right, well, let's get to the folks who have, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, without further ado.
Yeah, we're going to say that our power plays are still in place. The goal is obviously to reduce down to what we think of the era and genres which we generally discuss. We're going to try to determine the best album cover, and I don't know if we've decided whether that means the best at doing, quote, the task or the job of what a record cover's supposed to do. Is it supposed to be the most groundbreaking? Is it supposed to be the most just artistic? I don't know if we arrived at that.
Or most iconic. I mean, yes. So I don't think we'll know until we've crowned the victor.
I don't either. I think the analysis comes after. You're right.
It's typical is our want. All right. I thought there was some more housekeeping, but I can't think of what it is right now. So I say we just dive in. One power play remains per contestant, so we can only use it once. They don't roll over. All right, so we're gonna go into the first matchup, which is gonna be a doozy, and that is the Boston debut, and Kansas's is Left Overture. Of course, Kansas is making a deep run in the tournament as always. So,
I know. We're already at that point where, I mean, this is a 1 versus a 4, so it's about as easy as it's supposed to get in this round. But, wow. I mean, from an artistic standpoint, the Left Overture cover has just more going on.
Yeah.
Especially if that was hand-painted, hand-drawn, which obviously it was, late 70s, mid-70s. The Boston one is probably more... Is it more iconic? I don't know. More eye-catching immediately, colors. I don't know. What do you think?
I bet it's more recognizable. Not that makes it more arty or better, but I bet you ask anyone, hey, think of that Boston album cover, and they immediately picture it. And then if I said to that same person, now picture Left Overture, they'd be like, maybe you would. You're a huge fan.
Describe it.
Yeah. The man on the street. First of all, what's he doing on the street is a good question. Why are you interviewing him?
In Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I hate having to make a decision at all. So I'm going to let you go ahead and go first.
Okay, I'm going to say the picture on the right, the Kansas Left Overture, is a better painting, But I'm going to say the better album cover is Boston because it's iconic. That's not the reason, but it's woven in so many things about the band, it being a rock band. It's, they committed to the bit. It's got the city of Boston inside the little bubble. It's clever. It's repeatable. The what's the word I'm looking for? The font, the logo itself is cool. So to me, it's Boston.
For me, yes. When I was obviously young, not as, quote, I hate to use the word sophisticated, but, I was probably, 11 at the time. I, like many other people probably did, I bought the Boston album. Actually, I had not heard any of it yet, but I saw that on the shelf and was just captivated by the cover and had to have it and had to hear what was inside. Now, if you take that same 11-year-old kid and put the Kansas in front of him,
that looks like homework.
I don't know if I want to know I don't know if I want that kind of music. I didn't know.
Right.
So granted, that's boiling it down to one particular snapshot of one particular individual, but I am that individual, and it is my snapshot here that gets to decide. So I'm going to agree with you on Boston. I'm going to go put that one through.
All right, top seed goes through. Not a huge surprise, but that was a tough matchup. Went into overtime, I'll tell you that. All right, the next impossible matchup that we have to make possible is ELO's A New World Record taking on Eagles playing Eagles on the Border. So we talked last time about the almost 3D nature to that On the Border because they had some sort of physical relief. The paper was such, and they had some embossing, and so a lot going on there that we can't see on the screen here. But
not every issue was done with the textured cover, I guess. I don't know if it was just reissues that weren't and only the original was. I don't know the story behind that, but I know there are some that are quilted and some that are not.
New World Record was also a play-in, so this is
play-ins
meeting. They both survived the first round, not only the play-in, but the first round. So,
I'm just allowing sort of my my eye to make this decision because the music thing, obviously, I don't know if it colors it because I like these albums probably equally, but believe it or not, I would lean to the Eagles. What do you think?
I can't take my eye off that spaceship looking thing on the left side. Just look at that. It's got so much character and uniqueness and art to it. So I'm going to go with ELO, and I'm going to ask you to either come along for the ride or use your power play.
No, I'm going to come along for the ride on that. There's not enough, when I do, especially if you focus on the center, which the point of that with all the black empty space is to focus on the center. When you focus on the center, just that little like jukebox / spaceship thing, it became so important for so long for them.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to agree to agree?
We are. Yeah.
All right. The yellow's going through.
Okay.
Moving along. Now we've got Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd takes on Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. Songs by Jim Steinman.
I know. Did you get extra credit for having a subtitle, or is that a knock against?
I don't know. What about the fun? I had fun facts on both of these albums. One is they took 3 minutes to pick the Pink Floyd one, the band did. And on the other hand, it took several labels to accept Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell as the album cover. We still haven't figured that out.
No.
Let me. Okay,
oh.
you all go ahead. Go on.
All right. I still go back to the eternal almost nature of the iconic level of Dark Side of the Moon versus obviously more of a expansive piece of art, the Meatloaf thing. But in some ways, there are some aspects of the Meatloaf thing that, Christianity aside, the hell thing maybe makes people feel uncomfortable, but it's also intentionally in some ways for more of a horror movie kind of grotesque nature about it. So it's a little bit, it's got a disturbing nature to it. There's just a class, simple elegance about the Dark Side cover. So I would lean towards the Dark Side cover.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I can't argue with anything that you said. However, so intellectually, I think you're right. But when I'm looking at these two side by side, there's something super interesting about looking at that Meatloaf cover. That's just there's in terms of artwork. I know the Dark Side of the Moon is simple by design, and it's endured. It's iconic. Much to my own surprise, I'm going to go bat out of hell, but I'm going to actually encourage you to use the power play because I think I know what the right answer should be, but I can't make that call. I think that Meatloaf thing is just cool as
you just want the leverage of having a power play in your pocket left.
Right.
I guess I'm going to use the power play to put Dark Side through then.
Okay. I'm fine with that, but God, it's just maybe it's the Meatloaf font too. It's just super cool. There's no fonts or anything on the Pink Floyd album, but okay, I'm fine with it. Like I said,
yeah,
I think it's probably the right answer. There
aren't a lot of records out there where they don't put their name on the cover.
True,
like Zeppelin 4 was famous for that. There's others, but not having
Spinal
the name
Tap
or anything on it.
Spinal Tap was a mistake, but they don't get paid to be as confused as Nigel.
No.
Kudos to Metallica for picking up that bit and running with it. By the way,
yes,
yeah. All right. Could that album have been on this? How much more black can it get? Right?
The answer is none, obviously.
None more black. All right. Let's look at the next matchup here. We've got Hotel California against Paradise Theater. And last time, almost 2 weeks ago, you pulled out the full spread of that Paradise Theater thing, and that was pretty bad in a good way.
Bad with 2 D's at the end, right?
Bad A. Do you have a lean on this one?
I have more than a lean, actually, on this one. I think the Paradise Theater is a more interesting and a better cover.
I actually do, too.
In general,
I actually do, too. I think, now I'm going to sound like self-contradictory. I think the album cover on the left is more quote-unquote iconic, maybe because the album is, but side by side, I got to go with Paradise Theater on this one. And hopefully, by the way, I know we're a little late to this game, but hopefully you're watching along on this video podcast. We explained that last week. So if you missed that, that's your own fault. So you can judge for yourself looking at these two. But I'm going with Paradise Theater. I think it's unanimous.
Yes. Gala premiere. That's not a subtitle on there, though. That's just.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, I've never heard it mentioned that way. I think that one has to go through. So let's go with Paradise.
All right. So Styx, Paradise Theater, Paradise Gala premiere goes through. Wait, I didn't read all those words at the bottom. As seen on TV. No, I can't read it.
Yeah.
All right, next matchup.
Going to the other side.
Other side. This is a toughie here. You've got
progressive rock.
Yep, sort of proggy, but it's like they're right in the same genre, right? It's like they're in the same category. So anyways, if you're only listening and not watching at home, we've got Kansas, Point of No Return against Yes, Relayer. Both just beautiful pieces of artwork. If you had to just admire them for that, there's plenty to admire.
I've always been captivated by that Kansas one, that Point of No Return for some reason.
I just noticed
because the other doesn't, but
right. Now Kansas is not Roger Dean, right?
No,
their album covers. Okay,
I don't know much about who did that.
We've got I'm just noticing the Serpentine Dragon again. Which
exactly.
harkens back to the Asia cover, but
more Asia, right?
Yeah, which was Roger Dean. That's why I asked. But
yes.
Okay, so but my eyes always focused on this ship, at the point of no return. The Kansas, yes. We talked about the font and the sort of the band logo artwork. For me, as beautiful as they both are, there's a clear winner here for me. Kansas.
Yes, me too. Kansas.
Yep. All right. Again, do not bet against Kansas in the tournament.
The point of no return with a K, which is silent technically.
Yes. Let's keep it that way. All right. Here we go. All right. Boy. Now, this is sort of category incongruity. ELO's Out of the Blue and against Candy-O from the Cars, which was kind of put through somewhat on an upset, right? Over Rio, do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't remember what the original seeds were, but they're close. It might have been like a 4 or 5.
Yeah. And then ELO Out of the Blue. Go ahead.
Yeah.
These are your two babies, so I should let you decide, even though I have my own strong opinion.
Well, this ties back obviously to ELO with New World Record. Is obviously that thing that was in the middle of New World Record now becomes the spaceship. So it graduates up from being some sort of medallion-looking thing to now being the spaceship. I did mention, of course, inside there's the cardboard spaceship that you could cut out and put together.
Mm-hmm. Like a cereal box.
I don't see how Candio beats it unless a power play. I don't know.
It's impossible. I mean, it's going to take a much larger giant to slay out of the blue than is Candio, as cool as it is. It's just, unfortunately, it's not in the same league, in my opinion.
I don't think so either.
All right. That one was fairly easy. So sometimes, second round routes are surprising, but this is not one of those times. Okay. Here, now we've got Boston. Don't look back, right? Against Chicago 10 /X
Battle of the reused bits.
Yes. Yep.
Well, they both did incredible bits of branding with stylistic lettering as well as a reuse of just an idea. So the Boston Don't Look Back, the guitar spaceship thing is, of course, landing on some sort of planet versus the unwrapping Hershey bar revealing the chocolate Chicago logo inside. This is so difficult to pick because one is just a brilliant idea, and the other one is being Chicago, and then the other one is just a brilliantly drawn piece of art. Mm-hmm. I don't know which way to lean here. What do you think?
Well, as you're talking through it, I started to have my eyes lock in on this candy bar being unwrapped, and I just wonder how difficult that would have been to pull off.
Oh, yeah.
At the time, right? Because I don't think this is a drawing. It looks to me like a photograph, or maybe it's a part photograph and part drawing. It's almost like this is unfair, but I sort of want to, analyze these in the meta and say they're both sort of composites, and it's not fair to Boston, but Boston's already represented and Chicago is not. If I just had to say, forget everything you just got hit on the head, woke up, and these are two albums that you're evaluating, which one's cooler? Probably Boston. But my heart wants to go with Chicago. So, I don't know. I'm not voting yet, but that's just so you know which way I'm leaning. So you can.
Well, I don't have a power play.
Right. That's why I'm.
I would actually probably go with Chicago, believe it or not.
Okay. Then that makes it unanimous because that's where I wanted to go, and I think that's where I am going.
Needed some support.
Well, because you didn't have a power play, I wanted you to have a choice to talk me out, or a chance to talk me out of it. So
couldn't do it. Didn't want to.
Didn't want to. All right. Cool. Congrats to Chicago and all of you who were a part of Chicago. Here's a topic. This is our last matchup, I think, right, of this round.
Yes, we have the Asia debut album with the dragon in the silver sphere coming out of the water. And then Steve Miller's Book of Dreams, which is, of course, the Pegasus with the, they're not rainbow wings, but they're like red, purple, and green. But
another example of category congruity.
Yes.
I feel like we're comparing two things that should be compared, apple against apple.
Yeah, you know what else comes into play for this is I gave you what I thought about Roger Dean. Obviously, I think he's the best to ever do this. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Asia's debut album is his best one.
I would agree with
he's
that.
got others that are just far more engaging than just this dragon. Now, maybe at the time he was trying to do something totally different from Yes, which you could still tell that it's him, but maybe part of the instruction was, we want you to do this, but we don't want it to look like completely like a Yes cover.
Right.
So.
Yep. I think the Steve Miller Band album cover is the more complete album cover. You could make the argument, but you could make the argument that the artwork, like just the drawing part of it, those two are equal. I don't think so, though. I think the drawing is actually superior on the Steve Miller Band side. I think the whole package is better. I'm voting for Book of Dreams to go through.
And I am agreeing with you.
Oh, cool. All right. We have some final rounds to get through here. So I do not have the slides prepared, but I'm going to flip through them real quick. But do you have the recap handy, or do I need to show them on
I'm
screen?
going to see if I get my memory right. I was trying to put them in, and of course, working with an iPad can be extremely clumsy, and it doesn't like to respond sometimes. So I have, we have Boston debut versus ELO's new world record.
Okay. Do you want to go them one by one, or do you want to? All right, let's just go one by one. We've got Boston against New World Record. So these are the two albums on the left side of your screen as I scroll through them. Those on the right have been eliminated. So there's Boston, just to refresh your memory and your eye hole. ELO. God, that's a tough matchup.
It is. I think as you go back and forth, I think I still like the Boston one better.
I congratulate ELO for getting this far with all odds stacked against it. Yeah. A play-in. They're represented elsewhere, so that should sort of count against them, or you could see how it could. But to me, it's as awesome as this album cover is, being a new world record. I mean, it is awesome. Gotta go with Boston. Just have to.
All right.
Boston is
let's find out who they're going to go up against in their part of the Final Four. We have
the Dark Side of the Moon, who got through on a power play.
Yeah, against Paradise Theater.
Paradise Theater. So on the right-hand side of your screen, Paradise Theater, Dark Side of the Moon. Ooh, that is a tough one. Ooh.
I know. I'm going to go against probably most conventions, and at this point, I as you keep going back and forth, I Sticks for me. I don't know. What do you think? I think Paradise Theater is just a bigger project, more impressive in that way. Yep. Now, granted, we should be also, understand that, subtlety and nuance and things should be equally impressive, not just something that's grandiose. But True. I don't think that there's anything about that Sticks maybe that is out of place, over the top, absurd, anything like that. I think it's done just right. So I lean to that one. What about you?
I think we're going to get a ton of pushback, but we are unanimous. I am going with Paradise Theater. Paradise Gala.
The only thing about pushback is that we're trying to keep in mind that we're not rating the music, but we are rating the cover itself.
Right.
Now, people might still disagree with us on that, but I want to make sure we have that out there.
Well, maybe you make the intellectual only case that if you just saw this, had no idea what it was or who the band was or what the music was, and then you saw this, it said which one you'd say, oh, that one on the right is obviously, neat idea in its simplicity over here with the Dark Side of the Moon. But I'm with you. So send all your hate mail to outofthemain.substack.com. That's where you comment on this tomfoolery. All right. Nice. So now we are going to have Kansas, point of no return on the left, going against also on the left.
Out of the Blue, also on the left, yes.
ELO. This is not so cut and dried, my friends. At least it's not to me.
Got that, like we say, the spaceship, which grew out of the jukebox medallion, and then point of no return is the what a great representation of the title of the record, though, as you mentioned in the last portion. Mm-hmm. And the coloring is so interesting on that too. Just the way that the colors in the green sort of is reflected in the lettering and offset with that sort of sepia or whatever that tan is. I'm not my lexicon of art words aren't all that great. But go to the other one again.
I have a thought on this. Go ahead. Okay. Finish your thought.
My thought wasn't going to be all that extensive. It was going to be point of no return.
Okay, so...
But you could tell me why I'm wrong.
I usually do. Potentially, ELO suffers from falling into a group, even if maybe in some ways ELO invented the bit. This got done to death. Let's be honest, right? How many spaceships did we see coming through, whether it's Journey, it's ELO, it's Boston, and on and on and on, right?
Right.
As you look at this Kansas album, there's nothing like this other than, you look on the right and you're like, okay, there's an illustration that's sort of, but there's this, you said it, coloring, typeset, unique logo of the band name, the artwork. I'm shocking myself to not have Out of the Blue in the Final Four, but I'm not. I'm going Kansas. Point of no return.
It changes when you watch it and you see them going back and forth, and because you can have this idea in your head and decide, and maybe you have other emotions because of love for the music that makes you tend to tug towards one album. But when you flick back and forth like that, I think it's easier to see that the Kansas cover is just a superior in every way.
It is. That thing's bad. Ooh, I've got a new favorite. By the way, the album cover that you had in your head at the beginning of the prior episode is still alive in this tournament?
Yes, it is.
Same with me. Okay. All right, let's move on to... All right, I have to go back to the beginning.
Here we've got the Chicago chocolate thing.
Yep, against Steve Miller's
Book of Dreams.
I have a gut reaction that I'm just going to go with.
Yeah, go ahead, say it.
Want it?
Yeah.
Steve Miller Band, Book of Dreams. I love this idea. Yep, goes through. Yeah, I love this idea.
The chocolate thing has run its course. Like any sugar high, it runs its course and then it's over.
And it can cause diabetes. I don't think this Book of Dreams is going to.
Wilford Brimley over here.
Yes. You know where to go to get your testing supplies?
Yeah, funny how
all right.
All the things he's done in his career, he's known for the same diabetes in a commercial.
I know. That's funny. Yeah, congratulations on the bit. Well played. Again, we'll load these many decades later. They're still running with this, but look at that piece of artwork. Look at how the artist was able to capture sort of light, right? The way that the little whatever's behind it, let's call it a plate, whatever's behind this horse, is like lit differently on the left side, and there's this little refraction or reflection of light.
You get the sense that the light is coming from upper left down towards lower right, so angling that way.
Yeah, it's just impressive.
Really cool. I mean, that's stuff you do easy now in Photoshop or something, but at the time, thinking how to execute all that and thinking about your light source and all of that as an artist. You can't just go and tweak that stuff as you go later on. You're deciding that, as you put oil probably or whatever to canvas.
Yep. It's amazing. We joked about Bob Ross last time, but like Bob Ross is able to do that too. You see him take the oil off of his palette and put it onto canvas. You're like, how did that come to life that way?
Yeah.
And
he really does make it look easy. He makes it look, I could do that. But then as soon as you tried to do it, no.
All right. Well, let's close this out. Final Four time.
Okay.
We've got Boston.
I think I would have had these. I was just looking back. I think these are the four I had in my head when I started, before I even bracketed them out. I may have had Out of the Blue in my Final Four instead of Book of Dreams. I know they didn't go up against each other, but these refresh my memory that I thought of.
It's Boston is taking on. You have the bracket in front of you.
Yeah, Boston and Paradise Theater.
Yep. Whew. I just went to bat big time for Paradise Theater, but when I see it matched up against the Boston debut, thank you for playing, Sticks, but your run has ended.
Yeah, that bright orange underbelly of that spaceship with the blue flames, the way those two set off just absolutely flies off the canvas at you.
And to think that this was mostly the idea of the execs at Epic.
Was it really? Oh,
yeah,
well,
remember?
I guess you talked about how I turned it into guitars, yes.
Yeah, that was the label's idea. Man, this is just incredible. So, all right, so that was fairly easy, fairly unanimous. One last look at Paradise Theater. You hardly do, you?
Yeah, it's awfully great, but
then we know that
only one can win, many can play.
That's true. Many did play. So we've got this Kansas epic, Point of No Return, going against the artwork that we just focused on, which is Steve Miller Band's Book of Dreams. This one's easy for me.
I think everything you said positive about Book of Dreams can be said for Kansas, but more so. I think that Point of No Return is superior. What do you think?
Yeah, as much as I just heaped praise on that Steve Miller Band cover, there's just nothing like this. And like you said earlier, when you see them back to back and you're not just trying to do it from memory, which is why I hope people are watching along in the first place. That's why we did a video podcast. it becomes really clear. Like, you look at this, there's nothing like this that we've seen. Even as much as we've seen similarities in concept or approach, nothing looks like this Kansas L.
And it made for such a great picture disc too. Being that circular nature and the dot in the middle. Go back to the Steve Miller one for a second, because that's also got that circle centered thing too.
Yeah.
Interesting that they ended up against each other. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we've agreed that point of no return goes into the final.
Yep. And I'm going to preclude myself from using a power play in the final. So we have to agree.
Okay.
We
are going to have Boston's debut up against point of no return. Oh, man.
So this is bright, bold in your face. It's sort of conceptual, obviously, because there are no guitars that are spaceships in the real world. By the way, here's another circle, ELO.
Yeah.
Against Kansas, point of no return. So is your final still alive in the tournament?
Yes.
So is mine. Let's reveal first who we thought going into it was going to win.
Here's the inside of Kansas. Now, I know I'm, coming in late with this, but look at this.
Yeah.
I got all the pictures are hand drawn, like pencil drawn here. Oh,
trying to make a late case here. It's almost like,
and it's even got that on the back, an additional piece. Oh. You know what? The only reason I'm making that late case is I will be honest and say that the one that I thought was going to win it all is Boston. But as I stand here now, I want to vote for Kansas.
I will say, after I excuse myself, same. I thought Boston, for sure, in my head, was going to win this. It was going to take a monumental effort to oust them from the tournament.
And I think point of no return has come through with a monumental effort.
I think we have achieved a monumental effort. And
wow.
I didn't even think I had Kansas in my top 4. I knew I had them in my top 8 to 10. I didn't know that this one was going to be in my final 4.
When you go through it matchup by matchup, it's not the same as just thinking of it in terms of a hierarchy. It's like, okay, it has to beat this one. And it, as you talk through comparing it to other things, it brings certain elements of them to mind. And then you start thinking, oh, yeah, I hadn't thought about that about this one. And now you're carrying that information with you into the next round. So it's not just, that snap decision.
It's also, agreed. It's also interesting when you see the 32 of them all brought together. Actually, we did 40 or more when you do play-ins and then you're lost at sea with the first 4 out type of thing. You see them all together, and I'll make the case again. I'm so glad that they were pitted against each other because the approach left and right here is very similar, right? But the effect, what you're left with when you walk away, the eye just gravitates to the left side of the screen. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I could find the name of who did it, but it might take a little more digging than we have time to do on camera.
We can
it's in
use
there somewhere, but
the Google machine.
Yes.
Shall I pull it up right now, or should we wait until the lightning round to reveal that?
Yeah, we can bring that in the lightning round. But so we have crowned our champion of the NCAA March tournament here. That was just absolutely madness, and that is Kansas Point of No Return album cover. Wow,
yeah, we should have known Kansas was going to win the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, not Boston College
or Boston U.
Yeah.
Right.
Either way.
They don't even make the tournament.
And Genesis Duke wasn't even in it. So
why is Genesis Duke?
Duke. Basketball, Duke.
Yeah,
University.
I got Duke. Oh, you're just saying Genesis
Didn't
would
even
be
make
Duke?
the tournament.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh my God, that's on air too now.
Not yet. It isn't. Not yet. It isn't. I am editing this podcast. All right, which brings us to the lightning round. But that sound you heard yet again, as annoying as it is, reminds us that we've run out of time.
Again. Dang it.
Yes. So I guess we're going to have an episode 3B for the lightning round, or not?
3B or not? 3B.
Okay. Well, we will put a pin in it.
Okay.
And we'll come back and we'll do our lightning round. Mine's going to pick up where last lightning round left off, so you have that to look forward to.
Mine does in a way too.
Cool. Wow. Cliffhangers abound. Remember to please, couple things. Go to our Substack, sign up, chime in, sound off. This will also, because it's a video podcast, appear on our YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to that, do that as well too. All our videos come out, and when you subscribe, you'll get a little ding. Not the nautical pun bell, but you will get a little.
No, but you should ring the bell regardless.
Visual ding. Yes, ring the bell. Okay. Well, I guess I've killed about as much time as I need to satisfy our sponsors. So should we bid everyone a fond?
I forgot what we were saying on these. You said adieu last time.
Adieu. Yes. All right. See you next time.